What is going on to all my rom-com fans out there, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot back again with a brand new movie review, and today we're breaking down the new action-adventure rom-com by the name of The Lost City, which I got the chance to check out the other night, and I'm going to let you all know if I think this film is worth seeing in theaters, or should you wait to check it out on streaming. We're going to get into that here in this spoiler-free review, but before we do so, check me out on all my other social media accounts. If you love early movie reviews, TV breakdowns, and live streams, well, come and join the community by subscribing and hitting that notification bell. As you can see on the screen now, if you enjoyed the review, well, give it a thumbs up. Let's get this up to 100 plus likes, and also do me a favor, share this review, but more importantly, in the comments, let's have a discussion. Let me know if you were excited for this film, and of course, once you've seen it, what did you think? Pros, cons, favorite character, favorite moments. It's an action adventure rom-com. Did it hit all those beats for you all, or were you disappointed by the film at the end of the day? And let's talk about rom-coms. Let's give us some lists down there. What's your top 3 rom-coms? Let's talk about that in the comment section. So getting right into this review here. Listen, Hollywood. What happened to rom-coms? What happened to 50, 60, 70 million dollar budgeted films? We all know what's happened in the last few years in the landscape of Hollywood movies, but even prior to that, we don't really get those in theaters. They go straight to streaming services, and I love, you can find a good rom-com on Netflix or Hulu or whatnot, but I miss the days of getting excited to go to see a rom-com in theaters. I'm happy to report that not only did I have a good time with this film, I was highly entertained. I gotta say, for my personal taste, this is one of the best action adventures rom-coms I have seen in years, and we're gonna get into my reasons here in a little bit, but I want to talk about the direction first and foremost. We have our brothers. We have Adam and Aaron Nee, who, this is my first time seeing any of their projects. They've done like a small independent film. They have He-Man coming up next, which I'm not the biggest He-Man fan, but after watching this, I might have to check it out. They have such a good grip on giving us not only a really entertaining action adventure film, and this is no dig at a more recent action film by the name of Uncharted. The Lost City was a little bit more entertaining, in my opinion, in some aspects of the action adventure. So kudos to them handling the action, which again gets me excited for He-Man. But then looking at rom-coms, man, it's all about chemistry. It's all about believing the characters. It's all about pacing. It's all about just knowing how to hit those tropes that we come to love in these type of genre films. And they just have a grip on it, man. They do such a great job of directing this film, and I'm really impressed by them, and I'm really excited to see what they do next, which, like I said, will be He-Man. But let's talk about the performances. Starting off with what makes a good, well, any movie, but in particular a good rom-com, is the chemistry of our two leads, and the chemistry between Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum is absolutely off the charts. Individually speaking, let's take a moment to appreciate Sandra Bullock. When you talk about range, I mean, she can do action adventure, action comedy, she could do horror, she can do drama, and she is so great in rom-coms, and I'm so happy she's made her way back into the rom-com genre. What was the last rom-com, The Proposal, she was in, which was hilarious, by the way. I think that might be, but correct me if I'm wrong, but neither here nor there. She's great. She is great in this film as our Arthur, the main character of who writes these books, The Lost City of D, which, by the way, running joke of the name of the book is just so funny. But her character was beautiful, man. I had such a good time with her. She is at the position in her life where she's kind of fed up writing these erotic books. She lost her husband a few years ago. She's just not in a good mood. She doesn't even want to do these books anymore. She doesn't want to be on this book tour. She has her preconceived notions of particular characters in this film, and just seeing her on this literal journey on not only finding this treasure that Daniel Radcliffe gets her involved in, but also finding herself. And I love what she goes through in this film and where she ends in this movie. And speaking of just having a good time, Channing Tatum, man, he really has a great comedic chop, man. I love him in the 21, 22 Jump Street franchise, and he just knows how to hit those beats. He plays essentially, I don't want to say 2 characters, but he's given double duty in this film. He plays Dash, number 1, who is the person on all these erotic books, and you have, and again, certain characters have preconceived notions of Dash. He's just an airhead, pretty boy. A little bit of validity in that comment, but he's also Alan. He's a good guy. He's a kind-hearted person, and he's the one that's going out to look for Sandra Bullock in this kidnapping situation. And again, speaking of arcs and journeys and just loving a character, I had such a fun time with them. And again, their back and forth, their chemistry was more than believable. I liked them. I had such a good time with them. But I'm a type of person that judges a rom-com off of not only the chemistry of our two leads and the direction and all that stuff, the supporting characters, right? And I spoke about tropes earlier. In a good rom-com, you gotta have that good friend, you gotta have the bad guy, you gotta have this, the one hot, beautiful person played by Brad Pitt in this film, who we'll talk about. But the supporting cast was absolutely on point. Starting off with Vine Joy Randolph, who I've been a fan of for a long time. She's great in this film. She's the publicist of this movie, and she just wants to help her friend. She's doing anything and everything she can to do so. So I enjoyed her. The person I think almost stole this movie, and I love that they were in this film, and cameos, they need to do more cameos. My man Brad Pitt, he's in this film as Jack the trainer, as this kind of Navy SEAL expert who's going to help Channing Tatum find Sandra Bullock. Oh my goodness, he is perfect in this movie. And again, you thought that the Deadpool 2 cameo, which was like 3 seconds, his appearance in this film is absolutely incredible. Brad Pitt, you're amazing. And then also, I gotta mention Daniel Radcliffe, who's the villain of this film, who kidnaps Sandra Bullock and wants to go on this hunt for this treasure that he is just obsessed with. I like the look, Daniel. I like this villainous side of you, and I thought he really kind of lived up to all those things that he was given in this film. So great direction, a great cast. And then when it comes to the actual themes and the tone, I mentioned how I found this to be a very good action film. It's kind of, Romancing the Stone meets Indiana Jones. And then when you go to the rom-com elements, you felt the genuine arc between the character, the chemistry of the character. They don't really fit on paper, but then as they go on this journey, they find that they have more in common than they initially thought. So I enjoyed the rom-com elements, and I'm not gonna lie, man, it was a funny movie. I mean, we'll get to some of my criticisms. Not all the jokes landed, but this has a very high ratio of a lot of the jokes landing. And again, I was in a packed house. I mean, this was like a Marvel film. People were laughing, giggling, having a good time with this film. So I was really entertained, and it's just a word that comes to mind. It's just a wonderful film. It's just a wonderful film, but it has its criticisms. Again, there are the tropes that you come to expect in these films. There are some moments you have to suspend your disbelief at moments, but as far as like if I were to nitpick, a good rom-com runtime to me is no more than an hour and a half. This pushes almost an hour and 47 minutes, which I was never like bored or thought like they should completely cut this character out or completely cut that plot line out. But there were moments that I thought they could have maybe trimmed it down about 10 to 15 minutes. And then also, this is more of a gripe for me. I mentioned that the comedy, it hits on most of the beats, but not all the comedic beats hit for me, which is, again, comedy is very subjective. And then this is just like a personal thing for me. I had such a good time with Daniel Radcliffe as the villain's role. I wish he was more involved in the main narrative. He pops in mostly in the first, and he's kind of absent in the second half, and he comes back up in the third. But I wanted more of Daniel because I really enjoyed him in this villainous role. And that's really the only criticisms that kind of come to mind. So before I give you my overall thoughts on my score, make sure if you haven't already to like the video, share it, and comment below, and of course subscribe. Overall, man, thank you to the directors of this film, proving to Hollywood that not only are rom-coms a good time in theaters, but when you have a great cast, a great script, you have an action adventure like so, you can do this, Hollywood. You can still make these $60, $70 million films and have an audience that wants to go out and enjoy them, because we love rom-coms, me being one of them. So it hits the action, it hits the adventure. It's a great rom-com, great performances by the entire cast. I had fun. There are some things that don't work in its entirety, but at the end of the day, I mentioned at the top, should you see it in theaters? Should you wait to streaming? If you were able to see this movie in theaters this weekend, I highly recommend you do. I'm going to give The Lost City a 3.8 out of 5. This is something that I can only see going up as far as a score once I revisit it, because this does have a lot of rewatchability. Again, my audience was laughing so hard at points that I probably missed some of the jokes, missed some of the lines, because they were just... everyone was having a good time, and I was one of them. So, hey, that's my thoughts. Definitely give it a watch, and when you do, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, pros, cons, who was your favorite character? What were some things that didn't work for you all? And again, top three rom-coms, let me know in the comments below. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you staying on to this point in the video. Just a friendly reminder again to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Come and join the community. Hope you enjoyed the review. Hope you're staying safe, as you can see on the screen now. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my other content. We'll catch you on the next video.